If you want to make money sports betting, then data is everything, right? I say this all the time, but data is literally the core of every profitable betting strategy. Any sharp bettor, any pro bettor will tell you that. Data, 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 right? 99.9% of sports bettors, they trust their gut, they trust their emotions, and that's why most sports bettors, 99.9%, lose money long-term to the books and keep the books in business. So in this video, we are going to be discussing how to track line movements, right? So sportsbook odds are constantly changing around. If an unbalanced amount of action is coming in on, either the over or the under, then the lines will move, right? Let's say an NBA total is at, 231.5. If all of the action, 80% of the action is coming in on the over, then sportsbooks are going to take that total from 231.5 to 232 to 232.5 until they reach that point of indifference where there's equal action coming in on the over and the under, right? Just like the price of a stock changes due to supply and demand, it's the exact same thing in sports betting. If all the action is coming in on the over, then sportsbooks will move the total higher. If all the action is coming in on the under, sportsbooks will move the total lower. Right? So let's go ahead, let's get into how you can track the line movements as a sharp bettor and use line movements to your advantage. So following line movements is extremely easy to do on OddsJam. So all you do is you can see currently Connecticut, UConn, they're a minus 345 favorite on FanDuel tonight, right? UConn is a minus 345 favorite, so they're a pretty big favorite. So if we want to pull up where FanDuel has moved odds in the past couple days, all we do is we click on this line. Right? So we know UConn is currently minus 345. They've been minus 345 for the last 17 hours on FanDuel. But what you're going to see is lines have been ripping towards UConn, right? On April 1st at 11 p.m., so a couple of days ago, UConn was minus 235. Right? You could get UConn minus 235. Then they started to drop, as you can kind of see here. And now they're all the way to minus 345. So any odd, any sportsbook you want to look at, if you want to see how WinBet has moved the line, you just click on WinBet. You can see they opened UConn as a minus 340 favorite a couple of days ago when the lines first came out for the college basketball final. And all that's happened is lines have ripped towards UConn. They're down from minus 340 to minus 400 on WinBet. You can do the same for BetOnline, right? You can see here, BetOnline opened UConn as a minus 300 favorite. They ripped them down to minus 425. And now they actually have lines drifting slightly, back towards San Diego State, and UConn's only minus 380. So line movements, getting access to all this data is extremely easy to do on OddsJam, and you can see every single sportsbook has moved lines in favor of UConn since odds opened, right? So you can pull up every single sportsbook and take a look, right? And some sportsbooks move odds a lot more frequently than other ones. So you can see the profit exchange, they're down from minus 320 to minus 352. So in general, over the past few days, lines have ripped towards UConn. Lines have moved in favor of UConn. So I'll actually give you an example of a play I locked in. So you can see here, I'm on over 131.5 points in SDSU versus Connecticut. So I hit this bet for 7.5K at minus 111 odds. So this is my biggest bet for the college basketball final, over 131.5 points. So I found this play on the OddsJam positive EV tool. So this is the positive expected value tool. This is where I find almost all of my plays. All the EV tool does is it scans, literally these tens of thousands of odds, NBA, college basketball, everything, and shows you where there's value, right? So we can see this play on Caesars, the bet in bold and in green, over 131.5 at minus 111. OddsJam is recommending we bet this because if you look at the prices or the odds on every other sportsbook for the over 131.5, it's like, minus 130 on most sportsbooks. So if you take a look at all the books, WinBet has this minus 140, SportTrade minus 117, Bovada minus 125, FoxBet minus 133. So we're clearly getting pretty good value on the over 131.5 at minus 111. Caesars is offering a lot of value. Every sportsbook has this, a lot more favored, a lot more juiced. So if we want to see the line movement on, let's say, Pinnacle, which is known to be the sharpest bookmaker in the world, all we do is we click on this odd. You can also do it from a betting tool. And what you're going to see is Pinnacle has been ripping lines towards the over, right? The over 131.5 has gone from minus 109 odds when this line first opened. So we just saw lines move towards UConn, right? Lines have moved towards UConn over the past couple days, and you can see the total has also moved higher, right? The total has gone from over 131.5 at minus 109 odds to minus 132 odds on the sharpest sportsbook in the world. So what that indicates to us as a sharp bettor is there's a lot more action coming in on the over, right? There's a lot more demand for the over from sharp bettors, from the sports betting syndicates. Everyone's pounding the over. So lines are moving higher, right? The total is moving higher in this game, and the odds on the over are getting worse, right? So the over is more likely to occur. The same way a stock, is based on supply and demand. People buy a stock, it goes up. Here you can see there's outsized demand coming in on the over. So lines are progressively getting worse on the over, and it's moved from minus 109 to minus 132 on the sharpest bookmaker. So sometimes when I'll hit an EV play, what I can do is I can actually, just refresh this tool, and you can essentially, when you're looking at plays, you can also just see how have the lines moved for this given market, right? And maybe they haven't moved at all. Maybe a sportsbook is just screwing up randomly, but what you'll see a lot of times is what we just saw on Caesars. So if I go back here to Caesars, right, what you're going to notice is like Caesars initially was in line with the market. So let's go back to Pinnacle. So we got this over 131.5 again. We got this at minus 111 odds for 7.5K. So again, the odds were initially minus 109. Caesars has it minus 111, so there was no value on Caesars. But as the total has ripped higher on other sports books, all these books are taking a lot more action on the over. Caesars, their odds have become stale, right? This price is now a really good bet based on all the action we've seen in the market where everyone's pounding the over, and all the other sports books have changed odds to about minus 130. So now we know there's value on Caesars, right? It's kind of like if the price of a stock yesterday was $20, it rips up to $25 today, and it's trading at $25, and we still have the chance to buy that stock for $20. If we were able to still buy it for yesterday's price, so if a stock was trading at $20 yesterday, now it's trading at $25. You can tell a lot of demand came in for that stock, a lot of new information. So if we could go back to yesterday, we'd obviously want to buy that stock. So it's no different here. Initially sportsbooks had the total over 131.5 around, minus 109 odds. But now as new information has come out, as sports bettors have placed bets and moved lines around, there's a lot more demand for the over. So the over is more likely to occur, right, according to the market. But we're still able to get, that stale price on Caesars, the old price on Caesars at minus 111, when all other books have ripped this to about minus 130. So this is a profitable play, right? This is a really good bet that I have on for SDSU versus UConn. So that's how you track the line movements with OddsJam. You can do it for money lines, you can do it for totals, you can do it for player props. It's really useful data to look at as a sharp bettor to see where the lines are moving. And again, any other questions you have, don't hesitate to reach out.